Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Jay from Keeping It Real, your arbiter of gaming news and commentary, hitting you off with a studio production video where you know this is your channel, where all gamers' voices are heard. With your boy Jay, always dropping the word. Keeping them other gaming YouTubers like, what you heard? And where you always know, we always keep it all the way real. So what's up, everybody? Just want to thank you all for checking out my studio production video today, and you know what time it is. It's the place where all gamers' voices are heard, and your boy Jay is dropping that word. So man, it looks like good old Cliffy B is back at it again. This guy, I don't really think he can help himself, man. He just seems to just keep popping up, man. This guy's like whack-a-mole, man. As soon as you think you got him down, his head pop back up again, so you can just whack him again, man. This guy, man, you would think this guy would be more concerned with, trying to salvage his, busted of a game, but, unfortunately, here he is again, throwing shade at Microsoft, talking about Microsoft being offended. Of course, man, I'm going to go ahead and link this in this description, man. And the headline is, Microsoft probably feels offended and rejected for not bringing Lawbreakers to Xbox first. Man, can you believe this? I mean, oh, man. I wasn't even going to do any videos on this guy, man. You guys know I've done some videos on him in the past. I don't know. I think for a lot of guys in the Xbox community, they're kind of over it. I mean, they're just like, they just ignore this dude, man. Because I noticed, a lot of those videos, like, you guys ain't checking them out, man. You ain't watching them. And I can understand, because this guy is just, he's, people just, I think a lot of people just don't care. But I find this guy fascinating. I really do, because I just think the way it's interesting, a person who, they don't see the where all their actions is causing them all the things that's happening. Then it seems like they do. Then they come back and double down on the stupid thing they just did. It's like, when are you going to wake up, bro? Coming out and saying this now about Microsoft, when truth be told, they just didn't want to pay you to put your game on their platform. That's what it came down to. When you air out all the facts of what's going on, he tries to make it about a stall base, but come on, let's just keep it real. He knows damn well that Sony's not the platform to really put a online only game, because they don't have the best online. So let's just keep that real. And also, your name is well known with Xbox. So why would you go to a completely different side, which, number one, that platform is not really all that good on really multiplayer, especially a multiplayer only game. Like, come on. I mean, Sony's biggest demographic is really more about single player driven. Now, yes, they mess with multiplayer, but come on, let's just keep it real. Their network is not up to par. And that just being aside, even if their network was up to par, that's just, you have nothing but multiplayer. So that's not a very, dare I say, very popular type of game type over there on the Sony side of it. Then you take in the fact that, okay, dude, you're coming from Xbox. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be a lot more well known, and you're going to have a lot more brand recognition at Xbox with Xbox gamers. But do you capitalize on that? No. This guy stiffs Xbox gamers, calls them a bunch of fanboys just because they don't agree with his opinions and how he sees things, and just basically burn all his bridges, banking on Sony, PS4 to save them. Man, not too bright at all, man. And we see the results of it. if you dig into this guy's history, he even he stiffed PC back in the day. So the PC crowd wasn't all that happy with him either. So this guy has a terrible history of just betraying whoever he's working with. And I think that's a big part of this, and also sticking his own foot in his mouth. But it's one of those interesting things, man. He's in the news again saying this. And, this was an interview with GameSpot. And then he goes on to say, about Xbox, say he would love to put it over Xbox. But, he's kind of like waiting out to see how things go with his game. And, but he intends to look into that as well as the Switch. He talks about the Switch and maybe porting it over to Switch. And I just think it's funny that I think this guy knows Microsoft don't want to have nothing to do with his game. And it's so funny for him to call Microsoft think they feel rejected and offended. Yeah. No, I think they feel lucky that they didn't have nothing to do with you and that they turned you down, because the fact is your game is a monstrosity, man. I think his game is most likely the biggest bomb that I've seen ever. I've never seen a game, as far as I can recollect, or that I could ever remember, that did so disastrously, terribly bad in such a short period of time. I mean, literally, it was just like, and I've been telling you guys this before. That's why I call this a Titanfall 2 curse. I'm telling you, man, people didn't believe me when I was like, yeah, this dude is cursed. I think I was calling this out early before the game even released. I was saying, if you go back and check out my videos, I was saying, man, I believe this guy's gotten a Titanfall 2 curse, and it's going to be even worse for him. Because one thing about one thing about Respawn, I think they realized they effed up and they recanted immediately. They kind of like, they were like, they smoothed things over immediately, and they, luckily for them, they actually had a good game. Unlike Lawbreakers, they actually had a really good game that people enjoyed to play. It was just basically, how they stepped on Xbox gamers' toes at first and pissed them off, and that hurt them. Whether people believe it or not, that hurt them. And, but they were able to recover because number one, they had a great game, okay, and number two, they made amends on that. You know what I mean? And another thing about that, they kept their mouth shut. They just didn't, keep on making things worse. Cliff B, on the other hand, this cat, man, this guy is like he's almost like a Donald Trump. He just keeps when he's wrong. Oh man, he gonna double down on the wrong, triple down on the wrong. Man, this guy. It wasn't until just recently when he came out with this. Oh well, he thinks him being a jerk caused some problems, but I think that was only after he's gotten an onslaught of social media hate and laughing at him and saying yeah, it's all his fault. And I think that's when he finally just came out and said, okay, yeah, maybe I might have something to do with this. But then here he is back again beating himself upside the head, man, with this, saying that somehow it's Microsoft that feels offended. No, bruh, you got it all wrong. Microsoft feels, I'm sure they feel great that they didn't have anything to do with your disaster of a game, and that they stayed clear from it. It stayed exactly where it should be on Sony's platform, and they didn't want it. You know what I mean? I feel sorry for PC too. I mean, obviously, there ain't nobody playing that game. It's an afterthought. Nobody cares about it, and they're moving on. In some ways, I think he might even be saying this just to get some media attention. Because he needs something right now. Because his game is fading away slowly in the darkness, man. At this point, man. So this may even be just for him to get some PR and some attention, because right now he can use it. Even if it's bad press, any press for him is good right now, because he's in trouble. I think his whole studio is in trouble and very threatened at this point. And I don't wish any ill will to him. I just think you kind of reap what you sell. You know, when you're out there doing these things, you burning your bridges, talking crap to the very people who you're gonna need to buy your game. I mean, it's just, you can't get any more malpractice than that. Like, as a developer, how you coming out? I just never understood why any developer would do that, other than just being arrogant and completely stupid. Like, because if you have any sense, you know, any business sense, or just any sense in general, you wouldn't step on the very people who writes your checks. I mean, it's like, come on, man. As the consumers, nah, you just don't do that. So especially when you're starting a new game, I mean, especially, that's just the worstest time to do that. And I think people like that, they're you know, they really should have a spokesperson to speak for them, because, you know, they're not the type of people that should be in the public just speaking about things. But yeah, that's on that, man. I just thought I would, you know, go ahead and do a video on this, man. I think it's pretty funny. You know, you get this also too, you know, he's doubted Microsoft this from the beginning. Even when it came to the Scorpio, he had a lot of negative things to say when the Scorpio was announced. You know, and, you know, he was talking this, that they were backpedaling, and that they were, it was, you know, now they're trying to get back to what it was. And it's just like what I was telling a fanboy the other day, man. Like, Microsoft didn't have to do any of this. And for anyone to think, unless you work for Microsoft, unless you see their tax return and you know what's neutral, revenue neutral, and what their actual profit is, what their actual cost is every month, annually, you know, you gotta shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. Because one thing that's a fact about Microsoft is that they're not going to invest in something they're not making any money out of. It's as simple as that. You don't get to be a company as big as them, to be on the level of Google and, Apple, if you don't know how to make smart investments, and then you're actually profiting off of those investments. So for anyone to think that Microsoft would invest millions upon millions of dollars in a X just because they had to, you're stupid. The fact is, they're doing that as an investment that they're actually making money out of. If they weren't making money out of it, they wouldn't make the investment. The investment only comes because they're making a good amount of profit out of it, and it's something that they would like to continue to make profit out of. For, you know, like, you got to be the biggest dumbass in the world to think that, oh yeah, sure, any corporation or business that's a smart business is going to invest tens of millions of dollars into something they're not really making any money out of. They're actually, you know, making less profit of, or the projections of it is less profit. How do you do that? How do you invest into something that the projections are already, you're making less profit in it, but you're just going to invest in it anyway? Business doesn't work that way, and you're an idiot to think that. You know, I've got some idiot fanboys who wants to tell me that, man, you're not smart, bro. You're not smart, and you talk like you're smart, but you're not. If you know anything about business, you will understand that any business, they have projections of what they're making, knowing what they're currently making, and then they have future projections of what they are to make, and they make investments based on that. They don't just, our projections, we're currently losing money, we're hemorrhaging money, and the future looks like we're going to be losing more money, let's now invest tens of millions of dollars into that. Business doesn't work that way, bro. And it's really sad that anyone would think that. So this is why I say Microsoft didn't have to do this. And they're only doing it because they see that there's a great amount of money in it. This the great thing that they also do a lot of things for fanfare. So Phil was doing a lot of, I think that's where Phil comes in at it, because Phil wouldn't have gotten that budget to be able to do this if Microsoft didn't see that there was money in it, and they didn't see in that they weren't profiting from it right now. So it's pretty obvious that that's what it comes down to. That's where a lot of the fanfare comes, the Scorpio edition. I think that all comes from Phil. A lot of that fanfare comes from Phil, but when it comes to the investment, Phil still has to talk to the higher ups to get the approval of the budgets, and that can only come if they're making money. So that's how business works. That's business 101. If for those of you who don't get it, and and want to question that and think Microsoft had to do all this when it comes to the X, that's even evident even from the beginning. You seen Phil saying, don't pre-order it. Go ahead and see the games first. Check out what the games have to offer. See the games, then go from there. You didn't see Phil like, oh, okay, come on, just buy this thing. It's going to be great. Go ahead, get your pre-orders in. No, he wasn't like that. Even from the start, he was saying, don't pre-order it. Check out the games first. Make sure you like them. Does that sound like somebody who's, so desperate, need money, they're hemorrhaging money, and they're doing this X to try to make back and now make some money? Like, come on, stop. And even now, he's like, I don't think this is for everybody. When have you ever seen anyone from Sony saying that? When have you ever seen anyone from Sony saying pre-order it first? Or this may not be for everybody? You've never seen Sony say that. So which one is the one who's losing money and needs money? Is it Microsoft or is it Sony? Because as far as I know, I've never heard Sony say pre-order it first. Play the games first and then see. Never heard any Yoshida, any of them mugs say anything like that. Anything remotely like that. So to even make the suggestion that, Microsoft needed to do this, you're an idiot. You even suggest that. No, who needs to do something right now? Sony. They're the ones who look at what they're doing. Everything they're doing is anti-consumer and trying to get as much money as possible. You don't see that Microsoft doing that. You don't see Phil acting like that. Phil saying, no, pre-order it. And this may not be for everybody. Does that sound like somebody that, oh my God, they got to sell. They need so much money. They're hemorrhaging money. They need money. Get out of here, man. Just stop. So anyways, moving on, man, talking to the real gamers that, love PlayStation, man. It's really no offense to any people who are for PlayStation. I have a PlayStation myself. I have PlayStation 3, 2, and the original one. So I grew up with it along with Nintendo. So this is really about a gamer thing, a gamer in general. And the unfortunate thing about fanboys on all sides just hurt us as gamers because they make a bad reputation for us. And they also block and distract you from the more positive conversation that we need to have as gamers. So that's the reason why I'm so anti-fanboy. And it's one of those things that if you believe you are one, you might want to start thinking about like how productive is that for you as a gamer, so yeah, man, I'm gonna leave it right there. Just want to let you guys know I appreciate the comments and the support, and we grow this together. So if I any of my PlayStation guys, hit me up with some things that you want me to do, some videos in the future. I would love to talk about some more positive things that Sony is doing. If you have any suggestions on those future videos, hit me up. I'd love to do a video on it. All right, man. Appreciate if you like, share, subscribe. If you dig your boy's content, until the next time. This is Jay. I'm always keeping it real, and I'm gone.